How important is biosecurity to the future of the agriculture industry? And when you look at, malign actors and what they may choose to do, obviously we talk about our food supply and protecting that. But our supply chain could be incredibly vulnerable if there was some sort of a researched and developed bio attack on our food supply. Do you think about that? Does that keep you up at night? And maybe, Will, you can talk a little bit about the advancements in seed that could help prevent and protect against something like that.
It's terrifying. I mean, and yes, I've had some nightmares about such situations. To tell a side story real quick. I mean, back in the 70s in the seed industry, there was a technology that came in that helped sterilize seed corn, so you didn't have to detassel it. But then it restored it, so when it went to the farmers, you still had the pollen and the silk, and you could still make an ear of corn. But you didn't have to go to that extra labor of putting people through the field to remove the tassels in corn production. Because that technology was so successful, the genetic pool got so pushed into that cytoplasm, and then a blight came in and just decimated the industry. And that wasn't on purpose. It just happened, So we've seen a precedent of something like that really affecting the industry and destroying yields. And very quickly, the industry got away from it. I think the key is genetic diversity, and not allowing the cytoplasm and the technology to be in the hands of just a few big players and it all gets whittled down. Encouraging other companies, well, we could go into a whole lot of things here, but essentially encouraging more research and development from smaller independent companies as well. We talk about GM and how expensive it is and how much time it takes to get to market. Gene editing, the newer technology we're using now, is a little more cost effective and allows more players to get into it. The regulation's not as long. So there's a lot more opportunity to spread our diversity. So if we did have something come in, we could hopefully adapt and move pretty quickly. I think the other way you learn and protect yourselves from things like that is investment in land grant universities, extension programs who are out there doing the research and saying, what are these new diseases or new pests that could be coming to hurt us, and what do we do about it? I mean, for example, right now, soybean gall midge is moving across Iowa slowly, a few counties every year, and we're not really sure how to deal with it yet. The extension programs, the Iowa Soybean Association is working really hard to figure it out, but it's things like that we need a diverse portfolio of products to be able to say, well, maybe there's certain varieties that are more resistant to that pest or this disease. So I think just to encompass that, to protect from that, having not all our eggs in one basket, but funding multiple different avenues of research and development.
Well, and that goes beyond just obviously what we're putting in our fields. It's our animals too, right? And you think about Iowa's pork producing industry. You may have more cows than people in Wisconsin. We definitely have more pigs than people in Iowa. And we grow the best pork in the country and in the world. And you think about African swine fever. It actually decimated China a few years ago and decimated their pork supply. Avian influenza. We saw what that did to our poultry industry. Iowa obviously produces millions and millions of eggs. I was just at a Cargill facility earlier this week, and they go through 5 million eggs a day to produce, those little egg patties that we all eat on our breakfast sandwiches. So you think about the true impact of protecting biosecurity and continuing to innovate in that space. I think that's one way where we talk about being competitive with China, right? That's the goal of our committee, is how can we continue to support American innovation and be competitive? I think that's one place where solidifying, covering our bases and making sure we're ready for the next thing is part of that innovation.
Can I